warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. We would like to present about gender issues, critical discourse analysis, and our members are Azhara Alia Fikri, Dia Ramadhani, Yusdizal, and Fani Amelia Zani, Fauzia Alia Mujita, Tebi Surya Hadi, Anita Mawadah, and Ia Mayulani. For Jessica and Brenda, she's not participating because I don't know. So the first presenter, we want to welcome Azhara to present her review. To Azhara Tamisos.
Thank you, moderator. A critical discourse analysis of women's portrayal in news reporting of sexual violence. Researchers Rizda Neva, Journal Studies in English Language and Education. Specific topic address, women's portrayal in news reporting of sexual violence. Question or aim, this analysis is aimed at probing that representation through the choice of lexical items in representing the main news actors. Next. Method. The data for this study were obtained from 2 newspapers, the Jakarta Post, hereafter JP, and the Guardian, hereafter TG. JP is the largest quality daily English newspaper published in Indonesia, and TG is a broadsheet published daily in the United Kingdom. These 2 papers come from 2 different cultures, which imply that some differences in using the language to represent women might occur. Findings. The findings of the naming analysis dealing with how the social actors are referred to in the news reports. The focus is on the categories in which the 2 newspapers mostly base their naming of social actors. In this case, the core participants to be analyzed in relation to how they are named are the perpetrators and the victims. The naming categories that are used for the model are as set up in the earlier methodology section. Result, the Jakarta Post seemed to expose how the participants involved in the process were affected. The Guardian had a distinctive tendency, which was to typically classify the victims in terms of their age and gender and refer to the perpetrators with their surnames instead of as parts of the criminal case. The Guardian's tendency to represent both perpetrators and victims as people instead of as parts of the legal process indicated that the broadsheet attempt to focus the reports more on the crimes themselves rather than the participants involved in the cases. Thank you. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Azhara, for the presentation. For the next presenter, we want to welcome Fani to present her review. Fani, thank you, sir.
Thank you, moderator. The title is Critical Discourse Analysis and Gender Relation, Women's Image in Sasaksong. Researchers Hirjan Nahdi, Usuluddin, Herman Wijaya, and Mutafiq. Journal Counseling and Pendidikan, December 2019. Topic, Social Construction in Gender Relations between Men and Women. Question or aims. This study is indeed for reveal the image of women in the Sasaksong by discovering the tendency of social construction in gender relations between men and women based on the principle of critical discourse analysis. Method. The study makes use of existence critical discourse analysis as a multidisciplinary method in educational studies. Findings. 1. Through the portion of the Sasaksong text, the importance of the text and the consequence of the text in the social reality of gender relations between men and women, found 6 images of women in the Sasaksong text, namely women as male subordination, women as inferior, resign woman, cheap woman, dependent woman, and woman without choice. 2. As a text, discursive reasoning and social reality, The result of the study show the tendency to dominate women who give birth to forms of discrimination. 3. The 6 images of women in Sasaksong text are contained in works of art for the purpose of discussing in the tendencies behind artistic elements so that they are accepted as true and responsibleness in history inherit between generations. Back to moderator.
Thank you for the presentation. Next, we would want to welcome Fauzia. Fauzia, thanks first.
Thank you, moderator. The title is A Critical Discourse Analysis of Gender Discrimination, oleh Ratih Kumala's Gadis Kretek Novel. The researcher, Diana Haryanti, Yunita Nugraheni, and Sumarlam. Journal, Advance in Social Science, Education, and Humanities Research. Topic, Gender Discrimination Toward the Role of Women in Ratih Kumala Gadis Kretek Novel. Question or aim, the analysis is focused on how women are portrayed in the Gadis Kretek novel. Method, to analyze the data, the researcher used Sarah Mills model. This model is based on 2 important points, the subject, object position, and the reader position. The subject position deals with who tells the story. The findings, the context is when the writer describes Dasia, the daughter of cigarette brand owner who runs his father's business. It is something unusual in that time for a lady to run a business. The subject position is the writer, and Jang Yah becomes the object of the text. The reader is positioned as the subject. The press, satu-satunya perempuan or one woman, shows that the Dasia is being marginalized. Women are considered not having competency to run a business. The reader is directed to have the male's point of view about the woman's competencies in running a business. The result, most utterances in Gadis Kretek novel by Ratih Kumala are seen from men's perspective. Gender bias that leads to discrimination towards women in Gadis Kretek novel occurred because of the patriarchal system which adopted by the Javanese society. From the analysis, it is found that there are many utterances that discriminate women. Therefore, it is not a great guarantee that a female writers will not going to write something about gender bias and discrimination toward women. At the end of the story, the powerful Dasia is described as normal woman. When she cries uncontrollably to her that his fiancé decided to marry her business rival. After that incident, it took long enough for her to finally find someone else to get married. That's all. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Fauzia. Next, I want to present about critical discourse analysis of gender representation of male and female characters in the animation movie Frozen. The researchers are Muhammad Yosef Al-Saraireh, Hafiza Hajimia, and Vander Karsarjit Singh. The journal is from Linguistica Inferencia, December 2020. For the specific topic addressed, it is the differences in verbal and non-verbal communications between male and female characters in the Frozen movie. For the questions, first, what are the differences in verbal communication between male and female characters of the Frozen movie? For the second, what are the differences in non-verbal communication between male and female characters of the Frozen movie? The theory used in this research as Theory of Gender Differences by Coates, 1986. With method, the research was conducted using this qualitative research method with the structural narrative analysis of Nick Lacy, 2000, in analyzing the story. A content analysis is carried out throughout the movie. An interaction analysis was carried out by looking at the way the male and female characters converse in the movie. The findings find out that, first, women hesitate a lot, using different intonations to show feelings, more polite between women themselves, talk more than men, and always perform self-disclosure, while men, on the other hand, like to interrupt more than women. Second, each time the female characters Anna and Elsa are portrayed as being an independent, strong woman, Disney immediately shows that the female character as being weak, incapable, or evil. The sequence following their scene show the stronger effort put by the male character Kristoff, highlighting that at the end of the day, he is the savior that rescued them. Kristoff's white, powerful, independent, and physically strong, rugged, and masculine look personifies a dominant common image in a character. Frozen tries at showing the power of women. Disney's version of womanhood as personified in Elsa and Anna is one that does not oppose the dominant ideals of femininity. The two lead characters, Anna and Elsa, retain qualities that are believed to be needed for being the right feminine figure as accepted by the society by being soft, self-sacrifice, and selfless. They need to do all this and still need to portray and maintain beautiful appearance for love. Thank you. For the fifth presenter, Anissa Temisters.
Okay, thank you, Feby, for the time. The topic is about gender stereotypes in advertising, a critical discourse analysis. The researcher of this research is Bibi Hasanat Hati. The journal is from Language in India. The topic is, this topic is about gender stereotypes. Next. How different icons, symbol, and index used to perpetuate gender stereotypes in advertisement. The question or aim of this research is exploring all possible stereotypes that exist today in association with women in print advertising. The second one is finding how advertisers construct ideologies about female stereotypes. And the last one is about finding out the different roles that are given to female in print advertisement. The method of this research is about a qualitative design to reveal all the gender stereotypes manifested in printing advertisement. For print advertisements, see appendix were analyzed with the aid of a critical discourse analysis and a semiotic analysis. The critical discourse analysis was based on Verlof three-dimension framework that is textual, discursive, and the social cultural level. The next one. And the finding of this research, it found that the advertising perpetuates female stereotypes from the happy housewife to sexual objects. They are still pictured as weak, dependent, and inferior beings. It also found that the stereotypical representation of women as weak and powerless and have been replaced by the depiction of powerful, daring, and perfect-looking women whose sexuality has emphasized. Also, it was observed that they were always represented with an ideal beauty in different roles. I think that's all. Thank you. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Anissa. The next presenter would be Leah. Leah, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Critical discourse analysis of gender representations in EFL textbook. The researchers Murad Al-Qaid, Sami Halaf Al, Hawalda Muhammad, Akram Al-Zukri, Journal, International Journal of English Language and Literature Studies, September 2020. Specific topic address, the gender representation in EFL textbook in Jordanian context using critical discourse analysis. Question or aims. This study documents and investigates hidden gender representation, gender social roles, gender bias, gender dominance, and gender discrimination found in EFL textbook in Jordan context. Theory of gender representation in EFL textbook by Pierre Paz 1995. The method, the data were collected from the content of international ELT textbook series, Interchange 1A and 2B students textbook, which were taught to undergraduate students at Al-Balqa University. The study used Cloud 1995 three-dimensional framework to analyze the data variables such as women's and men's social and domestic roles, visibility of women and men, women's and men's activities, women's and men's semantic roles, and pictorial representation were analyzed to unveil inequalities or power imbalance between males and females. Next. Findings. The findings of the study reveals that the EFL textbooks were biased in favor of men in certain roles and activities. For example, men occupied the role of a craftsman, fitness trainer more than women. The study also found out that the textbook saw some degree of equality between males and females in terms of pictorial representation, visibility, and some activities and roles. The result also reveals the even thought there existed some stereotypical roles and activities associated with men and women in these books. Males and females were represented equally in terms of social status, power, and dominance. In other words, there was no signs of feminines and anti-feminines in the analysis textbook. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Leah. For the last one, the presenter would be Dia to Dia Tanisius.
Thank you, moderator. Critical discourse analysis on gender. Research Nevi Damayanti, Jurnal Psikologi, topic genre and depression in adolescence. Question: what caused depression as a teenager? Depression in adolescence can be caused by genetic factor, hormonal change, to traumatic experience, such as getting a sexual and emotional relationship or losing a loved one. Next. Methods. Study selection. The study included in the meta-analysis were limited to the depression experienced by adolescents from early adolescents to late adolescents with an age range from 24 years. The primary study asset data in this meta-analysis is a study that compares the level of depression in boys and girls, which was a collection track on electronic database from the internet, namely track, progress, and Questia. B, characteristic of independent variables. Based on the evaluation of the primary studies that have been collected, genre is understood and interpreted the same as gender, namely men and women, so it is based on understanding the biological concept that disqualifies between men and women. C, dependent variable characteristic. What is meant by depression in the study is a continuum of mood disorder that include a dysphoric mood or feeling of sadness, a syndrome of group of symptoms, and a psychiatric disorder. Depression can appear in symptoms, mood dysphoric, cognitive impairment, motivational, and something. Next. Finding. The difference in the high number of people suffering from depression in adolescent girls and boys has basically been seen entering the happen period of middle adolescence. There are factors that can cause this to happen, according to Peterson et al. There are three factors can cause gender difference in depression, namely, first, the characteristic of the genre itself. The second is cost of camping resource, and third is the stressful experience adolescents, boys and girls. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you for this presentation, Dia. Now I would like to present about the gaps. Based on the articles that have been reviewed, they have found various issues regarding gender which are analyzed in the CDA. Ideas about gender roles and capabilities are so ingrained that we often see them as natural. However, scientific and social research has consistently proven that while there are biological differences between males and females, the way that we are socialized by parents, caregivers, peers, teachers, the media, song, video, etc., and others is the biggest source of gender differences. Because researchers prefer to look at the negative aspects of gender differences, the differences between males and females discussed in all of these articles lead to structural discrimination. For a later study, one may look into the advantages of having gender differences, but not necessarily gender roles. Okay, I think that's all our presentation from Group 4 for today. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.